And furthermore...
Wait just a minute, John. Look, if we're going to have any kind of a meaningful dialogue here, then I can't let you just spell out a mouthful like that and go away and leave it, okay?
Right on.
Are these rights you were talking about? Human rights over property rights. What human rights are violated by this library being here? And what possible human rights could be furthered by destroying it?
Well, it'll shake people up, call attention to other people's needs.
What people? What needs? You say pre-med needs? All right, well, pre-med only makes up one part of this university. What about the law students? What about the scientists, the engineers, the political economists? Huh? I mean, they all have a need for this facility. The property of the building was built, the books carefully accumulated from the contributions of thousands of people who will never even see them. Ordinary people, older people mostly, who gave their money for what? For what purpose? So that you and other young people like you today, next year, years to come, help to find a better education, to live a better life. And what makes you think you can disassociate your property rights from human rights anyway? You see, John, you don't have to own property to have property rights in it. Hmm? All right, you're studying now to be a doctor, right? That means you'll be interning at some hospital around, and there you'll be working with equipment costing millions of dollars, millions. I'm gonna have to mine a 2 million volt X-ray therapy machine costing, I don't know, $150,000. Now, wouldn't it be a serious infraction of both your property rights and your human rights if that wonderful machine were destroyed just to shake people up, wouldn't it? Maybe I ought to give you a closer to home, more practical example of what I mean. Take what happened right here in Clovis last summer. The riots, the burning, the looting. A lot of stores were destroyed there. Among them, a drugstore, a grocery store, and a 5 and 10 cent store. Now, those stores have not been rebuilt. Now, the senseless, irresponsible destruction of those properties was a far greater blow to the human rights of the people of that community.
Well, that was unfortunate. But you know what they say. You're gonna make an omelet, you gotta break a few eggs.
Oh, John.
Yeah, and I've noticed the ones who say it, it's not their eggs.
They're not talking about just breaking a few little eggs. They're talking about smashing human lives. And they call it the right of dissent. Sure, we have the right of dissent in America. You realize how much dissent you would dare voice if you lived in Russia or China, or one of the other communist countries that they profess to admire so much? One little peep, bang, kaput. Sure, the right of dissent is a very real and precious part of America. Its power has helped bring about some of our most cherished social and economic advances. But even in America, the right of dissent is not the right to destroy. I mean, if a goal is holy, you only debase it in the eyes of the world if you stoop to unholy acts to attain it.
You call free speech an unholy act?
Free speech. It's a beautiful concept that's been deliberately fouled up. Freedom of speech is now freedom of filth.
I agree. They're throwing abuse, not bullets. I mean, words never hurt anybody.
John, if you believe that, you are nuts. Words a lot less lethal. They have hurt plenty. You remember the crowd in the street looking up at the man on the ledge of a tall building? Inside, his wife and his priest were pleading with him to come back in. And down below, the crowd was chanting, jump, 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 jump. You know what happened? He jumped. The words killed him. And the people down below shouting those words were murderous. And what's happening on high school and college campuses, huh?
There should be more shooting than looting. That's the only thing I agree with. Black folks trying to loot when they should be shooting. If you're gonna loot, loot your gun store.
Rabble-rousers like Rap Brown calling on student bodies to carry guns. Well, as you can see, words breed guns and more guns, retaliatory guns, bombs, and killing. All part of this freedom of filth. Filthy language no decent person would speak. Filthy books and magazine no decent person would read. And filthy movies and stage shows no decent person would sit through. All of this filth. To what purpose?
Fast buck, I suppose.
No, that's not the purpose. That's the lure.
Lure.
Sure. But the single, all-out, deadly purpose is the destruction of this country. See, our enemies, headed and masterminded by worldwide communists, they found out that they can't destroy us from without until first they weaken us from within. And John, they think they can do it. They have every reason to think so. Historian Arnold Toynbee points out that's how 19 out of 21 nations have gone down the drain before us. Internal decay. The breakdown of moral, ethical, and religious principles.
That's what I tried to tell him. The ragtags have to deny God, because as long as people believe in God and his laws of decency, then they won't go along with what these lowlives want to do.
To create an atmosphere of general acceptance to all kinds of degeneration. Then to sell their propaganda, they need a lure. The fast buck, huh? It's lure enough for certain types of publishers, producers. Then for the younger generation, the lure, of course, is free sex. You see? Because it makes light of marriage and breaks down the institution of the home quicker than anything else. Instead of love, honor, and cherish, as long as you both shall live, it's, hey, let's shack up, baby. As long as you please me sexually, or as long as you pay the bill. Or until someone else comes along that I like just as much.
Oh, Doc, your bucket won't hold water.
Come again?
You paint free sex too black and married sex too white. But forget what I think personally, but what you think. Your own university doesn't agree with you. Here's this year's catalog. Turn to page 27.
I know what it says on page 27, or rather what it doesn't say.
Right. And it only took 2 years. Now, 2 years ago, the students demanded and got student representatives on various governing boards. And soon after, the rule was changed to permit men and women to room in the same dormitories. Now, this year, the Student Faculty Housing Board voted to drop the rule against cohabitation, premarital sex, and overnight visiting. So whether you like the idea or not, Doc, a lot of us guys and gals think that sleeping together because you want to is a lot better than sleeping together because you're supposed to, no matter what any of you married hypocrites may say.
Oh, there are no hypocrites in this free love commune of yours, huh? Come on, get off it, John. You know, these guys are only in there to grab what they can as long as it's free, with no responsibilities on them, no protection for the girl, no commitments to each other. They know that a marriage license means a legal contract.
And what's that? I'll tell you what it is. It's nothing. For years, we had a football coach here, Coach Blandon. Now, he's the reason I came here instead of stayed. Well, I looked up to Coach Blandon, not only as a coach, but as a man. Well, last year he signed a new 5-year contract. And this year the pros offer him something better, and bam, like a rabbit, he takes off. Well, he jumped his contract, his legal contract, and left us just like that. So don't talk to me about honoring contracts, hmm?
John, you have every reason to admire Coach Blandon. He's every inch the man you thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain circumstances I could explain to you sometime when you're not engaged with that cigarette.
This?
Yeah, it is marijuana, isn't it?
It's only a question of time before it's legalized. It's not smack, you know. I don't go for heroin.
No, no one goes directly to heroin. But nearly everyone on heroin started with marijuana. That's why there are people that want to legalize marijuana. They figure if they can get the young people of this country onto hard drugs, they can destroy your generation, or in this generation.
Now, Doc, let us not get uptight.
Drugs have already gotten a frightening hold in this country, mostly on our young people. Drugs are the reason why our crime rate is climbing 10 times faster than our population. Well, this is a nation that's in serious trouble.
Well, I hope you're not blaming young people for all of it. Have you ever heard of unemployment? Most young people can't even buy jobs. For years we've been told, get a college education. To get good jobs you need an academic degree. Well, academic degrees are lucky to be sweeping floors, and that's not our fault. You said it. This world's in bad shape. Well, it's a world we never made. Oh, and America wants to make love, not war. Oh, wow. Well, so who doesn't? But they still want high wages that go along with wartime jobs, and all the while the national debt's going up and up and up and up. And you want to cop out and leave it as a legacy to our generation to pay for it. You bleat about this country being in serious trouble. Well, wake up, Doc. This country's already over the brink. It's down the drain. You talk about an America that no longer exists. Get up! Sit down, Doc.
What did you say?
I said sit down. Those are our commandos out there. They're in the building now.
They're wrecking the place.
Don't try it, Doc. Don't be a hero with a broken head.
You know what they'll do to all of you for doing this, huh?
Sure. Nothing. They never do. We're legal dissenters, didn't you know? Hear that out there? That's your generation going down out there. Don't fool yourself into thinking that we're just a few. No, we've got chapters on more than 200 campuses. And we've got more than 40,000 members, a bunch of them right out there. Some on your faculty. But you keep believing it. You keep saying it's only a few. It helps you sleep any better. Gives you an excuse not to do anything, doesn't it? Well, that's what we're counting on. Your beautiful gullibility. Your stupid do nothing about it. That all helps us wreck your establishment. Baby, we are the new revolutionaries. Jonathan, where'd you get that? Don't tell me you brought it with you. Nope. Found it in the museum. No powder shot, though.
I promise you, you and your commandos will pay for this.
No way. If we had to pay for wrecking things, we had to stop long ago. Jonathan, open the door. Johnny. I said open it. Hey. Sorry, Johnny, but I couldn't see you becoming a part of that wrecking crew. What are you gonna do?
Some time to think.
You better think fast, Professor. You don't have much time left. No, you don't have much time left.